Good morning. How are you today? It's Erin from DIY Passion, and I know it's really early. It's probably super early where you are, but I'm out on the East Coast, so it's not that early for me, and I'm already down in my studio this morning. I have a full morning ahead of me, and I figured I would hop on and let you know what I'm up to with this piece. So if you go back a couple of lives, I think a week ago, I gave you a tutorial kind of what's going on with my linen cupboard in terms of cleaning it out. Guys, once I got into this, there was so much mouse poo in there, it was really gross. Anyway, so that's all done and it's clean. And I made a few discoveries, so I thought I would do another live and let you know where things stand. I was hoping that when I actually got into the piece that I would discover that what looked like inlay was actually inlay. Unfortunately, turns out it was just really good veneer. Good veneer, so not pretty veneer. Good as in well done veneer. I tried a couple methods to stain it and it wasn't accepting the stain very well. So I kind of had to make a judgment call and decided I didn't want to paint the drawers because the whole piece is going to be painted and I didn't want the whole thing to be painted. I did want to maintain some sort of natural look. So that left me with the option of removing the veneer. And I know what you're thinking. If you've ever been to a thrift store or a flea market or a yard sale and you have seen a veneer piece, it can be really terrifying because sometimes it's cracked, sometimes it's peeling. In this case, it's just plain ugly. And it's like, oh my goodness, what am I gonna do with this piece? And then you'll probably just walk by and not buy it. But I'm here to tell you, don't be afraid. There are methods for getting rid of veneer on wood furniture. There are two kind of tried and true methods that I have used. One is just okay, one is fabulous, and I'm going to tell you about both of them today. The first one, actually both involve heat. So the first one is if you've never kind of done this before, you can probably do it with things you have around the house already. And I'm going to post a link to my most recent blog post after this broadcast because I go through the step-by-steps and there's some pictures there. But basically that method involves wetting a towel, a thick one, placing it on top of your veneer and letting it really soak in. So for a good, 30 seconds or so, and then using a hot iron. So on the cotton setting, and don't use a good iron because it'll ruin your iron. Use one from the thrift store. And just keeping that heat on that hot, wet towel on top of your veneer piece. It will dissolve the glue and you will be able to peel the veneer up. Now, the reason I don't like that method is because it's a little bit piecemeal. It doesn't always work evenly. Right? It depends how your iron heats up. It depends how wet your towel is. You do have to keep wetting the towel, and if your piece is quite large, it'll take you a really long time to do that. However, it does work. I've done it before. So if you want details on that and all you've got at your disposal is a bucket of water, an iron, and a towel, go to town. Give yourself some time to do it. Steph, such a good idea. I never thought of using an old iron. Yeah, it totally works. So one of the drawers here, I actually used the iron method because I wanted to see how well the veneer responded. This stuff is stubborn. So I quickly abandoned the iron in favor of what I think in most cases is the better method, which is using a heat gun. And I know, it's like, what, a heat gun? And if I'm being honest with you guys, I've had my heat gun for a really long time and I was terrified to use it. I thought it was going to burn the house down. I thought it was going to be like a flamethrower. It's not like a flamethrower. It's like, doesn't even get as hot as your iron. So if you can use an iron, you can use a heat gun. And the post that I'll post the link, has a bunch of heat gun recommendations that I've got in my post. They're not expensive. You do not have to spend a lot of money. You can spend a lot of money. Don't have to. So you're into it for about $30, and it'll come as like a nice kit, and it'll have nozzles and all of these things. So I'll make sure if you're interested and you do some furniture refinishing, check the post, and I've got those recommendations in there. One thing I will say that's good about veneer is that when it's put on really well, so I figure this piece is probably about 60 years old. Like it's solid wood. The veneer actually does act as a really good protectant. So if you find a piece and you can verify it's solid wood and not pressboard, and there is veneer on it that you want to get rid of, it's often worth it because the veneer takes all of the abuse over time. So if you can uncover that beautiful wood beneath, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna have a gorgeous piece to work with. It's just kind of like buying an old house and ripping up the carpet and finding the original hardwood floors, right? The carpet, it might be ugly and stinky and gross and dated, but once you rip it up and get rid of it, what's underneath is usually quite lovely. So if you can see this piece, this is the third of 4 drawers that I'm going to be working on. It's the smallest one, so it actually worked well for this broadcast because it's nice and compact. And it's clamped. I've got it clamped down to my workbench. Can't really see right now, but it's clamped. So I was able to yesterday with my heat gun, kind of working in spurts throughout the day, get the second drawer that had the exact same finish, looking like this, just using the heat gun. So you can see I still have a little bit of finer work to do with some sandpaper to get the tiny little bits of glue off, but worked like a charm. So I'm going to be brave and I'm going to show you exactly how it works and what it looks like. I'll just do it quick, like 30 seconds, but I'll show you what it looks like when you're using the heat gun, so that you can visualize in your head and maybe do it yourself, because that's what this is about. It's about showing you, like, if I can do it, you guys can do it. I'm also really excited because not this weekend, but next weekend, there's a giant, like, 5-mile yard sale happening not too far from our house, and I'm hoping to go and pick up a couple more pieces. And now I know that I don't have to be afraid if one of them is veneer. So using a heat gun and a scraper is so satisfying. Yes, it is. So the most important thing is safety first. Basically the heat gun doesn't heat up too much on the low setting. On the high setting, it does get quite hot. So your implements, like your scraper, will get warm. So you want to make sure that you're wearing gloves, essentially. And this is the scraper that came with my piece, or my heat gun rather. So yeah, safety first. Also, because I have no idea what kind of chemicals were used to adhere this vinyl, I don't trust it. So I'm erring on the side of caution that whatever was used to put this veneer on is disgusting and bad for me. So I'm gonna wear goggles just in case. Whoa, these are filthy. Anyway, I can't see the comments anymore. And I'm going to put on my mask. I have this one, which is like an industrial strength one by Honeywell. These respirator things are interchangeable, so once you've used it for like 6 months, you just kind of pop these things off and put in new filters. Probably don't have to do it that frequently, but I spray paint a lot. Yeah, so I'm gonna look like a little bit of a loony, but I'll wait till the last minute to put this on because then you won't be able to hear me. So I've got my gloves, I've got my eyewear, and the gloves are, you want to wear thicker ones just because they'll protect you from the heat. So these are like the big man-size work gloves. Why don't they make ones that like actually fit small hands? I've had some, but they felt so dainty and I ripped through them like within a week of working in my shop. So I always end up using Dan's gloves and they're giant on me. I don't know. Is there an opportunity in the market there? I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to show you. And what I'm going to do is just do it really quickly for like 30 seconds and then show you what ends up on the end of my putty knife. And I'm going to use the low setting. So the low setting on my heat gun is around, I think it's less than 300 Fahrenheit. Some heat guns have like a little digital readout. Mine doesn't. I don't think you really need that. Just have a sense of low or high. Okay, so let's do this. Guys, like, look at how crazy this is. I'm on Facebook Live and I'm going to be dressed like this. Okay. I don't think you can hear me anymore. Thumbs up if you can hear me. I feel like I'm shouting. Okay. Here goes.
Ready? And here's the heat gun. And it's on the low setting.
Okay, so, there we go. Now I'm going to show you what that did. So, and it's not hot to the touch because I used the low setting. If it was on the high setting, it would be giving off heat. What I'm going to do with this piece is I'm going to go over it with the low setting, scrape all the orange off. Then to get the rest of the really gross, gunky glue, I'll use the high setting. That I have to do in small spurts because it will burn if you're doing the high setting. So there you can see it comes off just like icing. This, I'll just take a towel and scrape it off. I won't touch it now because it is hot. And it'll just harden and you pitch it in the garbage. And it's easy peasy lemon squeezy. So I expect that I'll be able to finish this drawer, and there's another one that's at twice the length. I should be able to get both of them finished probably before lunchtime today. So that's how you use a heat gun, and that's how you get rid of veneer on vintage furniture. The most important thing is you just pay attention, take your time, let yourself have no makeup on and a crazy mom bun, and wear your safety gear, and just know that at the end it's gonna totally be worth it. And as I said, I'm gonna post the link to my post for this morning that has all of the details and the breakdown step by step of both methods, the iron method as well as the heat gun method. I'll put that in the link in the description for this Facebook Live. Yeah, so that's going to be my next step for this giant of a piece that I'm working on. Probably next week I'm going to get into actually refinishing the insides. So I'm hoping to have a quick little tutorial for you guys with some tricks for how to add beautiful fabric or paper to your vintage pieces, because what an amazing way to add a pop of color and pattern, and it's not as hard or as messy as you might think. So I have a few tricks up my sleeve in that regard, and I'm hoping to be at that point with this piece by next week. This one is taking me longer than I had anticipated. I have to be honest with you. Anyway, so yeah, let's hope I don't get too high on glue today. Any questions, let me know. And like, comment, or share this video if you have friends who like to refinish furniture, you know, or if you just want to inspire someone. I would love it if you shared the video, shared the page, and sent this to your friends. And as always, have a great day. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.